Simple things, Outreach Media. Simple things, Outreach Media. Simple things, simple things, simple things. Get your daily dose, fill your cup up to the brim until it overflows. Blessings of God and simple things. Morning worship when you rise. Enrich your lifestyle. Hear words of wisdom. Experience God's love. Only on simple things. Outreach Media. Simple things. Outreach Media. Simple things. Simple things. Simple things. And remember to like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell and experience simple things. Outreach Media. Simple things, Outreach Media. Simple things, Outreach Media. Simple things, simple things, simple things. Get your daily dose, fill your cup up to the brim until it overflows. Blessings of God and simple things. Morning worship when you rise. Enrich your lifestyle. Hear words of wisdom. Experience God's love. Only on simple things. Outreach Media. Simple things. Outreach Media. Simple things. Simple things. Simple things. And remember to like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell and experience simple things. Outreach Media.
Welcome, 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 everyone. Let me take this off. Welcome, welcome, welcome. What's happening here? I can't get this back up. Let me add myself back to the stage. Welcome, 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 everyone. Thanks so much for coming in. It's been quite a minute. Thank you all for joining my live stream tonight. Tonight, we just want to reflect on some important points, and we'll be having some free credit giveaway, and we're also trying to do a fundraiser for my tents and tarps for Westmoreland. That's my collab with Global Outreach United out of Canada. How is everyone doing? If you're new here, remember to give a thumbs up and subscribe if you're new. If you're joining me from my Facebook platform, thank you so much, guys. It's amazing what happened over on Facebook. It's, God is truly amazing. God is truly amazing. So I'm just going to give more people some time to come in. You feel free to drop your comments in the comment section at any time. Interact with this video so it can go out to more people, okay? I have such an amazing testimony to share of what happened over on my Facebook platform. I just say, oh, thank you, Lord. But before we get into everything, do you like my green screen? On the day the Hurricane Melissa hit, I used this green screen, and so my sister came into my room to look because she thought it was a backdrop. I normally have my channel banner as my backdrop on my little makeshift studio. So she came to look because my mother was wondering, what on earth? Where did I get that room from? So let me know. It look expensive, right? Let me know if you like my backdrop, my green screen. All right. So we're going to pray and get started up. If you're in the background, I see Sharon coming in, always the first one to class. When I used to do the worship live, she used to be the first one to church. Now she's the first one to class. Thanks for coming in. Good to hear Global is back. Yeah, man. Back on track, you know. Sometimes you're down, but you're not out. Back on track. So some fam, meaning Simple Things Outreach Media family, is going to be doing that collab with whatever we can contribute to Global United Outreach out of Canada as they go into Westmoreland and St. Elizabeth, one area in St. Elizabeth, and I think one area in Clarendon, but a few areas in Westmoreland. So that's what we're about. So tonight we hope to do that little fundraiser. I have some credit to give away, courtesy of Inga STV right here on YouTube. So if you're in the affected area, or if you know anyone in that area, a little later on, I'm going to open up and you can drop your phone number and I'll give you a top up. All right. I'll give a top up to the first. I'm not going to tell you how many persons, but I've been reaching out to some people and I realized that the thing why I'm not hearing from some people is because of credit. So tonight we're giving away credit as well. Okay. So sure, if you can invite who you can to come in and benefit from some goodies over here. Also, if they have some goodies that they want to contribute to us, so we could what we would like to do here on Simple Things Outreach Media is to pack 1 or 2 barrels with tarpaulins and tents, hopefully. But I don't think the tents are working out. I was from very early. I said, Lord, how can I help? I gave my little pittance to Adra. All right. That is through the church. And I say, how can I help? Because everybody's giving food and that sort of thing. But, you know, on a more long-term basis, I see so many people are homeless. And how many tarpaulins were there? 100 and something thousand. I don't remember how many thousand. I was listening it on TVJ News. But I think the government has already distributed all the tarps, and so many other people are giving out tarps. A whole lot of YouTubers and social media people and entertainers, that sort of thing, are giving out tarps. But there are still so many people who are roofless, and it's just hard to see people living under the elements. So we're not gonna do clothes, although I do have some stuff, and I could also raise some more stuff for clothing items. But Global will be taking care of the food items, the personal items, the toiletries, and that sort of thing. So our contribution to this collab, hopefully, is for tarpaulins. We already have a portion of the money, but I'm not asking for much. I'm hoping to raise at least 500 Canadian to add to that, so we could. I looked at the tarpaulins in on the Walmart website. They're like $6 odd for one. I guess that would be about 9 or so Canadian dollars. So we're hoping to at least 50 tarps that we are hoping to do from Simple Things Outreach Media. And we continue to do whatever little we can contribute through our church. And also tonight, we've done a few top up for a few persons, but tonight I want to offer, if you're Flow or Digicel, even if you're in the Philippines, because we do have a lot of followers and subscribers from the Philippines. And we know that Jamaica is not the only one that's suffering right now. The Philippines was hard hit by a typhoon as well. And there are, I think, over 200 persons lost their lives. So if any of my team happy, that's what my Filipino subscribers call themselves. Even if you're in the Philippines, we are offering top up. So later on in the live stream, I'll open up so you can drop your number, drop the person's number in the chat, and I'll just go right ahead and offer a top up. But the disclaimer is I have no control over who you are or whether you really need that credit. So I'm going to depend on you, to be honest, knowing that well, if you want to, it would be on you. It would be on you, because my only prayer is that we can help someone who is in need. And my prayer is also that if anyone tries to trick, play chickini business, like when they used to do top up back in COVID. If anyone tries to, that's between you and God. And I know the God that I serve, my God is a God of justice, not just mercy. So we're going to pray and share the link if you can. Share on your social media platform, share with all your contacts, WhatsApp, whatever, share on your status so we can get right into it. When I see the numbers going up, we'll get right into it. But let us pray. All right. We're going to pray to begin. Welcome, everyone. Thanks. My moderator is right there. Let me just see what she's saying. Okay. I thought we bought a new house. I didn't. I wish, in Jesus' name. I claim it. Even the furniture is nice. And I like the decor. I really do. Tarpaulins are the best, I think. Some people even using them to temporarily block the size of their house, which was torn down. That's what I'm seeing. Because most people only got one and they need more than one. You understand? Because one, even if you can use that one to cover one room, but then you might need, what about like your little bathroom area, or if your bathroom roof was blown off. Welcome, everyone. Good night. I'm glad you are able to be here. All right, so we're gonna pray. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let us pray. Dear Lord, we come to you tonight thanking you for another opportunity to open up this platform so we can be a blessing to others. Lord, I thank you so much for prospering my social media platforms and for the growth that I have experienced even just this week. So, Lord, we can continue to spread facts. We can continue to spread truth. And more than all, we can continue to spread the gospel of salvation, because in these times, that is what we need. So tonight, Lord, I pray that you might bring people in who can benefit from this live stream, and people who can also be a benefit to this platform as I try to raise some funds, Lord, to help the destitute and the afflicted in my homeland of Jamaica. So, Lord, I just thank you for what you have done. Father God, I pray that you bless and keep us. I pray, Lord, that you cover Jamaica under your wings. Father, I pray that someone somewhere might see that we couldn't continue like this. We might see tonight, dear Father, that you allowed this Hurricane Melissa to happen for a reason. There are so many things going on behind the scene, Father God. If our eyes could only be opened in the spiritual, then we would see some of these things and we would weep for our nation, dear Father. So, Lord, I pray that someone somewhere tonight, maybe even me, might be willing to repent, might be willing to confess, and might turn to you before it's too late. Bless and keep us and help us to continue to do our little part, Lord, to help others in this situation. Thank you for hearing and answering our prayers. Forgive us of our sins. Cover this platform under the blood of Jesus. I pray in Jesus' name. Amen and amen. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So tonight I might seem like I'm happy, but I'm not. Sometimes when things are that bad and when I get that sad, I tend to smile a lot because it helps others. But even before the hurricane, I just had this sort of sadness over me because the things that are happening, them not normal. You understand? Amen, Sharon. The things that are happening right now are not normal. And it just pains my heart to see how not just Jamaica, Haiti, Cuba, the Philippines, and other places, how people are suffering, even right here in this country, where the destitute and afflicted are suffering, and their little benefits, has been cut off, and we don't know for how long it will be. And things are going to get worse before they get better. And they might not get better in our lifetime. They might not get better on this side of the river, so to speak. And that is sort of like what this live stream is about tonight. Okay. So when you see me laughing, it's not because I'm happy. But I'm still happy, because the joy of the Lord is my strength. I am still happy, regardless of your situation. We have to be happy. I am encouraged by the many people who I see in these videos. That nurse in Black River, I have that little video on my platform when she said, Father Jesus, or something like that. At least we have life. Everything gone. Look, I don't even have clothes. The hospital, this is gone, that is gone. So many things. Black River is ravaged. But she said, at least we have life. And so many people are saying, at least we have life. Because where there's life, there's hope. And sometimes God allows everything to be taken away from us, or even He Himself, whether He does it Himself or He allows the enemy to do it, because ultimately He's in control. So we attribute everything to Him. Not that He is the one who does the bad things, but because they can only happen because He allows it, as with Job. That's why we say He did it. So, like a hurricane now, people say, oh, God sent the storm. We know that God doesn't, he say he doesn't destroy the righteous with the wicked. He say, wish above all things that none should perish, but that all should come to repentance. So we know he's not the one who did it, but it could only happen because he allows it. So ultimately, we can say, you understand that he did it, if you understand what I'm saying. So sometimes God allowed these things to happen because we can't continue the way we were, you know, we can't continue the same way. We have to, sometimes we have to lose everything. I've been there before, like starting over. It's not easy. But when you look back and you see how many things, man, how many things you had that you didn't need. And sometimes God has to just strip away, strip away, strip away. I remember after my experience up in New York before I moved down here, I shared that so many times on my YouTube platform. And it's like I lost everything, not of any fault of my own, because of someone who was supposed to look out for you and your children, look out for your family, and caused it to happen that way. To see my furniture, expensive furniture, everything on the sidewalk and that sort of thing. And I remember when I was packing to come down, and when I counted shoes, when I in the garbage bag, over 20 pairs of shoes in the garbage. I was like, and each one I keep looking, oh, but I have the purse for this one. Oh, I have the belt for this one. Oh, I have a hat for that one. Oh, I have the outfit for that one. And it was so difficult to part with it. And over 20 pairs of shoes, good in the garbage. Furniture. When I even at church, when I asked around and say, anybody want a brand new dining room set? And sometimes people are renting, sometimes people are sharing, whatever. Sometimes people are just starting out. And if they're like me, you don't want nobody old broke. You don't want nobody second hand something if you're just starting out. Like for me, I'm just comfortable with a bed more than taking somebody else's things, to start out. And when you see nobody wanted them. And that when I call like the what you call it? The thrift shop. And they say, oh, but you'd have to drop it off. I say, I have no transportation to drop it. Oh, they could collect it, but I would have to pay for the transportation. That sort of thing. So I just walked away and left everything. So why I'm saying this, sometimes we have to be willing to let go of something. Sometimes our life is too cluttered. Sometimes we need a reset. We need a reset and a reprogram. And honestly, when it comes to my country, Jamaica, we really needed a reset. I'm not saying we had to be ravaged to get the reset. Because when you look at some of the areas, as far as we know, like St. Elizabeth is the bread basket. We can't see any logical reason for anybody to say St. Elizabeth needed to be destroyed, if you put it that way. But you have some areas, man, you have all these people in this right now. If you look at the news, Linstead side again, shootout, that sort of thing. You have people robbing relief supplies, that sort of thing. And you're like, how did we come to this? It happens everywhere, yes. And I know people are gonna say, oh, you're acting as though that don't happen. It happens mainly in the Middle East. We're not the Middle East. We are not that. In Jamaica, everybody knows somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody. So in the end, we all know each other. 2.8 something million people, almost 3 million. We basically know each other, you know. We don't have to live like that, robbing relief supplies and that sort of thing. And you say, but Lord, they reported 45 persons who lost their lives. If God was like man, because if I did me like God now, you know, me would have just pick out them one day, one, and blow them all the way to Bermuda Triangle, somewhere where they cannot be found and never be lamented. But God is a God of mercy also. And He's giving us a chance to repent, all of us, including myself. And I'm saying tonight, turn, man, turn ye. Let us turn from them evil, wicked ways, you know, all the iniquity, the sin, the transgression. We weren't that type of people. It's becoming so rampant. It's and with social media and with technology and camera phone and whatever, it's becoming celebrated and glorified. And that is the part that bothers me. You go on social media sometime and you see people send me TikTok videos. I say I don't have TikTok. My daughter had asked me to download the app because she had uploaded some pictures from one of her vacations and she wanted me to see them instead of sending them to my phone. And I downloaded the app and I never posted anything. I never requested nobody. I never accepted any requests except hers. And it stayed there in my phone till for over a year. And I say, you know what, just delete that thing. But from time to time, when people send you TikTok videos or people repost them, because TikTok videos are reposted all over Facebook, IG, YouTube. And you see the things we celebrate, Jamaica, and the people, not the individuals, you know, but the character that we celebrate. How did we come to this? We all have a place, you know, in society. We all have a place. Gone are the days when it was admirable to be quote unquote decent people. You understand? It's like if you're decent no people nowadays, everybody laugh at, not even laugh at you, look down on you and shame you and that sort of thing. Nobody stands for morals. Not nobody, you know. Because believe me, the people that will go on, so the minority, I always tell people, it's just that the majority are the silent. You always hear about the silent minority. But in Jamaica, it's the majority that are the silent ones. And the people that were going so are the louder, nuffer ones. So those become the face of Jamaica all over. So people would say Jamaicans are this or Jamaican. You know, many times I get it, people say, all right, when you talk English, proper English, people think you're British. I've gotten like, how long have you lived in England? I'm like, England? If we go airport, me don't know where to take plane. If we go England, I've never been. You understand? And they'd be like, but you're not like Jamaicans. And I have a neighbor who says she's Jamaican. She's not Jamaican. Because I have a coworker who is Jamaican and she's this or he's that and he's that. And I'm like, listen, there are two Jamaicas. We still have the decent, upright, and I'm not ashamed to say the old school, decent, morally upright, and whatever ones. We still have those, right? But the what do you call it now? The old criminal minded, lawless, indisciplined, whatever, disrespectful, whatever one are the more vocal ones. So they have become the face of Jamaica. And when you go on some of these videos and stuff, and you see how the fans, the followers, the subscribers, and whatever, you understand? Some of these so-called social media, so-called influencers are literally crying out for help, you know. And we, the fans, instead of saying, like, come to me now and say, you know, you're too old for you to do this or you're too whatever. Then I have to look within myself and think and wonder. I wonder if it's at my age, if it's, you know, or whatever. But instead people are saying, oh, leave them alone, leave the person alone. You're just jealous or you're just hating or whatever, your body shaming or you whatever, or you're classist or you're whatever the situation might be, I'm just saying. But a lot of times, if you be honest with me, my viewers and subscribers, I'd appreciate that. And that's what I'm saying. I pray that that's how it would have been for all of us on these platforms. If your fans or you shop too much, what are you referring to? If your fans or whoever just let you know upright that without being embarrassing or disrespectful, pull that person aside if you know them in real life, for instance, or go in their inbox and just, honey, such and such and such and such, whatever. But I'm just saying, sometimes it's time. There's time for a reset. And I think this might just very well be the case here because we couldn't continue like that. Jamaica, we just couldn't continue like this. But how does it work when half of the island is in shambles and the other half is pretty much up and running? And it's not for any good that the other half has done. It's not for anything that I have done while I am still here. You understand? So how do you level the playing field? Welcome everyone. Give a thumbs up if you're just coming in. And if you're new here, feel free to subscribe. If you're coming in from my Facebook platform, I thank you so much. So I just have to share that little story about Facebook now. I shortly after my YouTube platform, I started it in June during the start of the hurricane, the pandemic, June 2020. And shortly after, I say, let me start a Facebook page to support. Right, so it helps. So it was there. I didn't do much with it. Every now and then I'll just upload my links, my video links when I uploaded a new video on YouTube or whatever. And then I think earlier this year, either late last year or earlier this year, I said, you know what? I'm gonna work on my Facebook platform. I said people who originally had said, oh, they're not even going on Facebook and they start a Facebook page and it's growing. So I say, I'm gonna work on my Facebook page. And I'm the communications director at my church as well. And earlier this year, when I got that position, we were at, I think, 200 and odd followers on Facebook. My church page was 200 and odd. And I really put myself into it and start promoting it, start uploading, like highlights from the service each Sabbath, the things we do during the week, the community outreach and all of that sort of thing, some little interesting factual things. And it just started growing. And that is since February of this year. And my church page is now at 3.5. Okay. You understand? So I'm saying to myself, I could do the same if I put more effort in my page. But you try so many things, and because I don't really have a niche that's that marketable on Facebook, so to speak. So I said, whenever things become topical, like with the Jaden Smith missing 12-year-old and little topical things, I'd add that, some factual things. I still put my links, and although I'm not that active on YouTube, so I don't have that many uploads as before. Welcome, Inga. Blessings, sis. Thanks for joining. So I say, let me just work on it. And then I started going live. When I go walking once per week, I started doing live. But my phone is old. I've had it since Thanksgiving 2025. So my front-facing camera is just awful. So I haven't gone live on Facebook with it when I go walking in like these past 2 weeks. But since the hurricane now, I did a live stream like 9 hours that day. Sharon was here with me for most of the time. On the day of the hurricane, I'm monitoring the hurricane, the weather channels, the Jamaica C video from parish to parish, and I'm here monitoring and sharing information. And I said, let me join my Facebook there. So I realized that people were like more interested in that sort of thing. So I started putting up videos as people send me videos from the hurricane. I started putting them up and that sort of thing. And then and things started improving. I actually got like 1K, 2K view on a reel or whatever. Then since this week now, I came across that video clip with the PM talking about the vouchers and the cashless system for people from the ravaged area collecting their food supplies or the relief supplies from the government, and I put that up. And I left it there. I didn't pay it much mind that night. I didn't even remember about it that night. I normally check in the night and then check in the morning. I didn't check in that morning either until in the afternoon. I remember I went on the road and got some business done. And then I came in and I checked and I saw like 70 odd thousand. And I'm like, what? I'm like, what? And then they were watching it and the notifications just it was just coming in, coming in, coming in. Would you believe that that video is almost 0.5 million views right now, 500,000. And it just kept growing, growing, growing. And I put up another one about, I went back and looked for the thing because I remember I was watching a news clip where he was talking about um, building a city in St. Elizabeth, wanting to build deliberately made a city. Instead. So I went back and looked at that and I looked at the Vision 2030 and something. And I remix a video of that news clip and put it up. And that one is over, I think it's over 200K now. And would you believe my followers more than doubled? I put up one of them on IG as well, and it went over 100. You understand? And some of my posts, like the post I put up about the God Rest Your Soul, the father and daughter duo, missionary duo, who were gonna fly in with some relief supplies to Jamaica, and unfortunately the plane crashed and they lost their lives. God rest their souls. I put that up too, and for the first, a post with over 300 comments and over 100 thumbs up. I'm like, okay. So now I sort of find a niche, but after the hurricane, what? Will they stick and stay? But I'm just saying, you never can know when you're on this platform. Sashi is here. When you're on this platform, you never can know what will work for you and what won't work. And I find that it's so much easier if we focus on those platforms. It's so much easier than growing there than on YouTube. So I just have to share that with you. And if any of my new followers from Facebook are here, I would want to join Facebook for a bit. I think I should. If they're here, I also want to welcome them. All right, so I'm gonna join my Facebook for a while. And so Sashi, how you doing? How you doing? Sashi is here and Inga is here, like good old times. Welcome, welcome. I'm gonna join my Facebook here for a while. My thing is so bad. I just have to turn it around. I'm gonna have to turn it around because the camera is so bad. I need a camera for. I'm just gonna call it Hurricane Melissa Aftermath. Okay, guys. So I'm gonna have courtesy of Inga STV and my Stump Fam. I'm gonna be doing a credit giveaway as well. So if you know anyone in these areas, aftermath, not afternoon, aftermath, you can reach out. I'll take the numbers in a bit, and we're gonna be offering some top up. Let me just type this in. I'm gonna join my. I'm gonna join my Facebook for a few minutes here, so I can welcome show my appreciation to my new subscribers. So, Sashi, how are your people over there in St. Thomas? How you doing, girl? By knowing Sashi, how ambitious she is, maybe by now she reached a PhD. I'm so proud of this little girl, man. I'm so proud of you, Sashi. How's your family doing? How's your mommy and your family doing over there in St. Thomas? Westmoreland. All right. I'm going to just join. If I put this here, it's too dark. So I think I'm going to switch it. And we are live. Okay. Welcome, welcome. I'm going to switch this and put it this way. All right, welcome to my Facebook followers. Thanks so much for helping me to reach my 1K on Facebook. And I was just over here bigging you up. If you're joining me on Facebook, thanks so much for following. Thanks for all the likes and the discussion over there is so much, to me, it's more intelligent and more decent than on IG. On IG, I don't know, on IG and when I watch those TikTok videos that people send me and I see the comments, people just, it's like the main aim is to just be cursing out each other. Nobody is interested in intelligent conversation. Hardly anybody. Hardly anybody respect each other. Hardly anybody over there realize that you can agree to disagree. You understand? But I find out on Facebook, I don't really know the demography of the people who picked up these, because I think I have thousands of shares on that link. So I don't know the demography or the background of the people who were watching that reel and commenting, but I find that it's fairly decent. So I don't know what you think about that. But what I'm saying is, let me see what Sashi's saying here. Sharon says, but I was watching a lady who has family where Juba is from, and she said no one lost their lives in that district. But she said every house with sink lost their roof. So that made me happy about him. Well, I never ever, not for 1 minute had I thought that Juba himself is not okay. Understand? I had no fears that we had lost him. But I'm just saying, I don't know how well he's doing. His little shop, snack shop is just, I'm not trying to disgrace him, but you see it in his videos. And I think his roof is just zinc. So I figured that he lost his roof. I figure he lost his shop. I don't know how much relief supplies he got. And I really think we might have to try to help to get him back on his feet. But if anybody on here is here from the Lekovia area, if you go on my page on Facebook, all my social media platforms, Juba Bruce Love TV, we're trying to reach out. Some fan is trying to reach out to him. The last person I've spoke with from Lekovia told me that that was early this week. The network is still not up, so there's still no phone service. And he's wheelchair bound, so he won't be able to go to Santa Cruz or wherever to get service. So on Friday and Saturday night, hopefully, I hope to do a live. I hope we can get together some of our old Jamaican small YouTubers from the COVID days. It's like a reunion, and we can come together and rally and see how we can help Juba. But we just can't hear from him yet. Sashi said, my family is doing good. They weren't affected. That's what I realized, that St. Thomas side wasn't bad at all. But there was a lot of rain prior. But even Mandeville, Portland, St. Thomas, and even Manchester and St. Elizabeth had a lot of rain, like for 2 weeks or so prior, even parts of Clarendon. So whatever happened over there, it wasn't really a result of the hurricane. And Inga says, happy to hear that your family wasn't affected, Sashi. That's great. And Sharon says, Sashi, one day at a time, girl, you will get it. I'm confident. Yeah, man, one day we're going to have to say Dr. Sashi. I didn't remember it correct there right now. We're going to have to say Dr. Sashi Bodiva. Congrats, girl. I'm so happy for you. Yes. So that's as far as it goes for Juba. I'm just saying we're sort of like standing by, because my sister topped up his phone. Topped up his phone, so we know he has credit. And I know that my sister, more than all, is the first person he would reach out to, but we just can't hear from him. So with all the people going into Lacovia, and I saw where Adra, that is where I sent my little donation to. You understand? Most of this household, that's where they sent their donations to. Adra actually went into Lacovia and areas of Lacovia. So who could tell? Maybe some of our donations went towards Juba as well, That's the way the spirit moves. But it's just sad all over when you look at Black River. But I'm saying, so people are hitting out and say, oh, why does the PM, that's why people are tying the knots now. And sometimes we say if something no go so, it nearly go so. It's a Jamaican saying. Some persons lost their roof, but not my family. Oh, I'm sorry to hear. I didn't know that St. Thomas was that badly affected. But I'm happy to know that your family is okay. The overseas outreach group was actually in Juba District. Right, that's what I'm saying, Adra. The Adventist Disaster Relief Agency. I watched it. The people were very well organized. Yes. And that, there's just so much to say. And that's part of the thing, too. Before I get back into what we really came here to discuss, I was watching a video where some people were saying everyone lined up. And that's how it should be. Where some people are hitting out on TikTok and saying, what happened to the church? This, that, that. People, not everyone is gonna wear t-shirts with their name on it, put their names on their vehicle, maybe print shopping bags with their names. And you might not know. The church could come and you don't know. You understand? I'm sure Salvation Army might be there. Salvation Army is a church. Do you know that Salvation Army is a church? You understand? And the way the church gives, the church is not gonna just come. I don't know if Food for the Poor is a church. You understand? Father Richard Holong Foundation, that's a church. I think they're Catholic. You understand? ADRA is the Adventist church. So many other organizations, those are churches. So the church is not just gonna come and write whatever, Sashibu Diva New Testament Church on everything. And you understand, people do things differently. And if you're on social media, we have to appreciate the way why they do things the way they do. A lot of us on social media, a lot of them, because I'm not anything near to that level, but they are getting contributions from the general public, from their viewers and subscribers, so they have to be held accountable. All right. So when you see whoever they might be, I follow Jay Progress a lot, and I like the way he does things, because he said he's waiting until food start to run out, things start to run out, and some little forgotten people in some little forgotten districts. Right now, there are still 3 communities that are totally cut off. Up to yesterday's news, I didn't get to see all the news today. Right? There's one community where the helicopter just have to fly over with the relief supplies and just drop it, because there is nowhere in that district to land, and the district is completely cut off. So like J Progress is saying, he's gonna just wait until things start to cool down, and then when the real need of when people really start getting hungry and supplies start to run out, then that's when he'll go in. You understand? Our collab with Global United Outreach is sort of like that, because we're not gonna get that going until like the end of the month. All right. So we have to understand the celebrities, they could do better. Kudos to those who are doing well. I don't like to call out people's name, but you know who they are. Where do they get their money from? Not the general public. You understand? Their money come from the general public. For those who have 9-to-5 jobs at the same time, well, fine. But that's how they make their money. So to me, it's incumbent on them to give back. It's only expected that they give back, and more of them need to give back, the way I'm looking at it. But thank God for those who stepped up and just went right in. The social media people, a lot of the money might come from, I don't think that is so much money, because there's not much money on these platforms. On YouTube, for example, 45% of what you make, YouTube holds that back for themselves. So if you make $100, you only get 55 out of it. By the way, Super Chat is active, guys. Right? You can also donate by Super Chat. My PayPal link is in the description, or you can Zelle. I'll give you the phone number. You can Zelle towards this fundraiser. So that's what I'm saying now. So if I collect money from Sashi and Inga and Sharon and all the people watching me right now, I can just go silently screechy into one little place up behind Petersfield where nobody don't really know about, and I don't record anything, and I don't show anything, and I just go up there and do what I want and don't have any evidence to show you all what I did with your money. So it's a different thing. It's not just for publicity. Yes, it might be for publicity, because that's going to help your platform to grow. And nobody's here for their platform to be stunted. The whole point of being on social media is for you is to spread whatever for those of us who have a message or you understand, and a purpose like that is to spread whatever you're spreading, help whoever you're helping. But it's also for you, if your platform not growing, what's the point? So of course they have to be accountable. So they have to be upfront. They have to be back on their platforms, sharing everything that they did. The camera must follow them because it's people money a lot of the times. They put their own. So many of them took out of their pocket over 100,000, more than hundreds of thousands, and put together with what they're getting as donations. But although the church is getting donations as well, the church don't operate like that. That is not how churches operate. Also, you have to remember that the biblical principle, Jesus said, when you give alms, what you must do. Basically, as Jamaicans would say, your right hand must know what your left hand doing. So it's not for the church to come with the same sort of thing. Oh, we went into this district and we get that. Yes, you have to be held accountable. So what they do, as in like my church, I can only speak for myself. What the Adventist church does is that every quarter, it gives a report, so to speak. So we have quarterly magazines. We have magazines that are printed every quarter. So let's say at the end of this quarter, maybe by December, you would see an article that shows what they did in Jamaica, in the Philippines, in Cuba, in Haiti, wherever for disaster relief, how much was spent, how many like care packages or whatever was handed out, how many visiting hospitals were set up wherever, how many patients were treated, and that sort of thing. You understand, how many clothing items. That's how they do it. The church, I don't know of any church walking around with a camera. Yes, some of it is on camera already, but they're not bound to walking around with a camera and tell the whole world what they're doing, regardless of which church they are. And several times, because the word church is not in the name of the people who are going out there, the public don't really realize that it's a church. For instance, if you see ADRA, it's just gonna say ADRA. Would you know that it's affiliated with a church? No, you might not. As I say, like Food for the Poor and those are churches. So I think we sort of need to stop bashing the church so much and stop expecting more than, it's not really expecting more, because yes, you must have high expectations of the church, but let us stop having false expectations of the church, because our idea of what a church is or what a church should do is not necessarily what a church really is or what a church really should do. I hope you're getting me. Okay, so let me see what is going on up here. Canada Salvation Army was on the ground on the Friday. Yes, because that's what Salvation Army, I didn't know when I was even in high school, I didn't know that Salvation Army was a church. You understand? And let me see. Okay, so going back up to what Sharon said up top about everyone lining up, I want to touch on that as well. So she said, good, because they're gonna need stuff for a long time. It's really, oh, you mean like what J Progress is doing? Yes. When other people money started to run out, then he's gearing up. He started out wanting to raise £10,000 and he's way over the £10,000, so he increased it to £20,000. Gonna need stuff for a long time. It's really so hard to see so much destruction and to think they're gonna rebuild their lives. Exactly. Okay, Sharon. And so she said, yes, and a lot of communities are being left out because the persons on the front get most of it. That's what I was seeing in the news yesterday. And even this community where I said the helicopter, one of the 3 communities where the helicopter could just fly over and drop the food. That's what this guy was saying. The people who are closer to the main road sort of thing end up going and get the stuff. And those who are like back road sort of thing, and the elderly and that sort of, if the elderly don't have anybody to send to get it, then they're not getting the food stuff, they're not getting the relief effort is not really reaching them. So going back to what Sharon said up top is something that I was really concerned about, and I made a video about that earlier. It didn't really go out much, but that's what I was saying. everybody is saying we need help, we need help, without making it clear exactly how to go about helping. If you're like in one of these little communities where that is still cut off, can you come together as a community and choose Tom and Mary and make them your community representative? So whether it's a politician, whether it's the MP or the councillor, whether it's one of these YouTubers, whether it's Shaggy or Buju or Spice or whoever, whether it's ADRA or some overseas missionary group, relief organization, at least they know who to liaise with. Because what I'm seeing, like when Colors Smith last week, I never knew who Colors was. Is Inga told me about a Colors some time ago, and then it's since this hurricane now I saw who Colors Smith is. And what I realize now, driving a truck, and I'm not criticizing because I can't do what you all do. You know, I don't have it like that, and I don't have that size platform, and me broke. My contribution is just tiny, but everybody's contribution counts in God's sight. Even if you can provide one tin of sardine, or even if you can provide one tarpaulin for one person counts, or one baggie for one little girl, or one diaper for a little baby can sleep in tonight till tomorrow they get something else. It matters. So what I'm saying, instead of just driving a truck loaded with stuff and going in such a way I love and going in and parking in the square and they just bomb rush the truck. I'm like, Lord, is this Jamaica? Believe me, I was dumbfounded for days because people are hungry. I mean, I remember in Black River when the some news team went around and the guys, when they were looting the supermarket and they I think it's hardware supply store. And one of the guys said in the camera, on a loot, we're looting, on a thief, we're thieving, but we're hungry. You understand? I think we more have to try to put ourselves in the shoes of these people. Welcome to everyone on Facebook, on my Facebook platform. Thanks for coming in. Remember, you can support the fundraiser by sending stars. I hope that is centered properly, right? I would think when we like I contribute towards Nella Champagne and Friends in every Christmas for the past how many years now? Maybe 4 years or so. And although it's a totally different situation, and in normal circumstances, I'm sure most of my brothers and sisters wouldn't be behaving like this. But this is a disaster. This is tough times. This is dehydration from lack of water and no food. You understand? No bathroom facilities, no roof over your head. So it's different. People behave different. Desperate times call for desperate measures. But what I'm saying with that Christmas give back, what do we do? Is like organize it. You have the team who is the lead, but then you have people from the different, like a representative in the little different offshoot communities, the tinier communities, where one person gather the names of the people in that community based on their needs, and you supply everything to the overall team, and they put everything together. And when that day come for distribution, they park up the truck out a square, and you better stand up there and wait on your name. Your name is called, everybody see you, get your bag, tick off the name, and you go. If there's extra, then they decide how they're going to do with the extra. But to just, although these are desperate times and the situation is different, very often these persons giving back don't know the people in the community or whatever. You understand? But if you plan, to me, if you plan on going into a community like that, I would think that the wise thing to do is to try to find 3 persons who are like, people, not say activists, because people think of activists as a bad name, but it can be a good name. The school principal, the somebody from one of the church, and somebody from the youth club sort of thing, and have them as the persons who are sort of coordinating things, so that when you drive in, they already have things organized. That I don't even think you should be the one giving one bag here, because Colors, I mean, had a lot of stuff. One of those bags could give to 3 persons. And I watched that night and I saw this guy, at least 2 persons. It's more than 2 times I see them collecting. And a lot of the people at the back just stand up. So, and you can see the pain in their face as and the disappointment. He had to drive off with the truck and people were jumping up on the truck. There's this little girl jump off the truck with a case of water in her hand. Even when he said, don't jump like a girl, with a case of water. You understand? So I think sometimes we can avoid these chaotic situations if we sort of plan things more wisely. And as I say, I'm not bashing, but I'm a logistics person and I'm a logistical person as well. Also, I'm a person who go by principles. And I don't care the situation. I still think as Jamaicans, we are held to higher standard because the Bible said to whom much is given, much is expected. And God has blessed us with a lot. We are special people. You understand? But not so special that when we step out of line like this, God not going to beat we back down to size so that we can stop and see that we're fly up in a God's face too much. So we are held to a higher standard. We don't have to behave like people in some areas where, they have genocide and fighting all the while, and that we don't have to behave so lawless and indisciplined, man. We can, we can do the things in a way that more people can benefit. If we're all from this community, I don't see why. I just can't fathom how people could think in a time of disaster, I should get 2 or 3 bags, and maybe a little old lady or a pregnant lady or a lady with or a man with 3 children plus him grandmother don't get any, honestly. And that goes back to those who are robbing the relief supplies, man. Oh my Lord. I wonder if you know say all that water will rise up down a content. God can just rise it up on and just drown off. What a piece of wickedness, man. It just pains my heart that people could still we could still see this devastation, still see how God allowed judgment to visit us, and we still behaving like that. So that is why I'm saying, no, Jamaica. I put out a video and warned. Not I say I wasn't warning, but I'm saying Jamaica, take caution. This was 10 days before the hurricane. I said, Jamaica, with all this distraction, with the Jaden Smith case and stuff, something is going on behind the scenes that the devil would want us to be distracted from. You understand? We were paying attention to Jaden and he needs the attention. Justice for Jaden Smith, even now. You understand? We can't take our eyes off that little boy's case. But wasn't it so strange the way it happened? And it's like the whole world of Jamaicans overseas and everywhere. We are focusing on that. And I was saying 10 days before I did that video, that live stream, and I said, Jamaica, something is going on in the background. I don't know if it's in politics, if it's in natural disaster, some laws going to be passed or what, I don't know. But wake up and take caution. Something is going to happen or something catastrophic is coming to Jamaica. That was 10 days before, right? And see what happened now. We didn't pay attention. A lot of people say they're prophets and prophetess and whatever. I am not. But I use the Bible as my rule. And I use history. And history always repeats itself. And whenever you see things happening like that, something greater is going on. And I can tell you right now, even with this disaster, Hurricane Melissa, there are things going on behind the scenes, man. There are, if you're not paying attention, why you think I put up those videos? Why you think I put up those videos? And a lot of people might be tying things in with a modification, this, that. I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm not saying whether it is or it's not, I don't know. I'm not God. But you can understand. You can see within reason why people are tying things together this way. You understand? So what I'm saying, Jamaica, if we're not careful, if we don't act fast enough right now, things are going to get much, much worse. What's coming as the aftermath of this hurricane is going to be worse than the hurricane itself. One lady, and that's the lady Gowdy, Nicola Gowdy, and I'm happy. People had reached out to me saying, because I did a little video on it too, if I have any contact for her, because people were looking to help her, right? So I saw her information on I think it's Shanzen's video, and I sent it to those persons who were asking. I was thinking at first that she would be a fitting person to help, but with so much media coverage, so many people have reached out to her. So That is why instead, it's not that I was lying or I forgot or whatever, but instead, that's why I'm collaborating with Global United Outreach instead, with some areas, some little known areas where not many people have gone into. We don't even know how much help they've gotten so far. All right. So I think Miss God is good by now because so many people have reached out to her and offering her help. All right. So that's what why I'm saying Jamaica. Let me drink. Welcome to my Facebook platform. That's why I'm saying Jamaica. What is coming is worse. If we don't act now and we don't move right, we don't address this thing the right way and move fast enough and apply proper logistics and proper planning, just so oppose that wholesale selling the donated goods in Westmoreland. You mean from the government, that came through the government, or through private entities or personal entities? Because I'm thinking to myself, let me go back to what I was saying before for a bit. With some people collecting, everybody come through, they're there. I hear one person say, and I have no verification, but I was on this person's live stream, watching this person's live stream, and it said he has noticed faces in some of these communities that every time people come through that community to donate relief supplies, those faces are on the camera collecting. In my head, I was always saying, if one person collect like 3 bags from Color Summit, are they going to be selling back some of those things? Because when I say Color Summit, that 5 pound of rice, 5 pound of flour, this, that, 16 corned beef, how much tin of this, how much tin, I mean, the numbers might not be accurate, but like enough to feed a family for more than a week. And I'm saying, but that bag could have break down in a 3 and more. Although he said, don't rush the thing, I have enough for everybody. But by the time he finished give out, half of the crowd didn't get, in my opinion. And apart from the water and the soda and the juice, the supplies truck was empty. And I'm saying, are these people going to be selling back some of these things to the other people in their community? You understand? So that's what I'm saying, Jamaica. If we don't apply logistics, we are very good, in my opinion. And this is not opinion, right? This part of it is not opinion. ODPEM is one of the best disaster preparedness agencies in the world. We have done so well at preparing for disasters, right? The only reason why some of these people lost their lives is because they were unwilling to be evacuated. Bus went around. They have how many hundreds of shelters. Some parishes had over 300 shelters. Mainly schools are used as shelters. Shelters with shelter managers, emergency EMT, so to speak, that sort of thing. Properly manned, and they have their supplies and their whatever. But some people were reluctant to leave. Some people don't want to leave because they have to stay to protect their place, because they say if they leave, they're going to lose everything when they come back. And it is so heart-rending, workless people, that the people them gone, shelter them life, them and them pitting them, and I'm not going to thief them something them. I'm going to say, God, make you good, so God. You couldn't just raise up some of them zinc there and just, oh my, just psh, psh. But guess what? Thank God for your grace and mercy. Saw them through, but them time not come yet. Them better repent. You understand? So that's why some people stayed, and some of who lost their lives, I would think that they could have been saved if they had evacuated, but they have reasons. We can't judge because we're not in their situations, all right? So ODPM did a good job, in my opinion, as usual, at preparation. But although nobody saw this, because this is not no ordinary category 5. I was saying to my sister that day on the live, I was saying, do they have a category higher than category 5? Because this one set precedent, man. This one mean that it demands a category 6. This Melissa needs, we have to step up to a higher category. So although we didn't foresee, and that is why people are tying all the conspiracies and the whatever and the way it was behaving, heading towards the east and then heading up straight across Clarendon and then shifting to Manchester, St. Elizabeth border, and then actually making landfall in Westmoreland. That's what, and it stayed here and it's slowed down to 7 point something miles per hour, and then it went on, it stood still at 2 point something miles per hour. Those are the reasons why people say, this, that, and weather modification and man-made storm and whatever. Be that as it may, as Jamaicans say, something like that, so anything the man can conceive, it can achieve. Meaning that there is nothing that a human being can think that is not humanly possible. All right, let that sink in. As long as a human mind can conceive something, it means it's possible for human beings to do that thing, to achieve that thing. All right. So I'm not saying that it didn't happen. I'm not saying it happened because I don't know. I don't really buy into the thing of, but it's possible because that it's possible for man to be able to do that from the mere fact that it's possible for us to think that such a thing is possible. If you get me. All right. If you get me, you get me. Okay. But although we didn't foresee anything of this nature, like 9/11, people were like, man, I didn't know this could happen to America. Why not? If it can happen to China, or wherever, or Ecuador, or Nigeria, why not New York? It's the same thing. People were saying, man, yes, I've never seen nothing like this, anything like this. But why would you say you never knew this could happen? Why not? We, as Jamaicans, we act sometimes as though we're more entitled to God's mercy more than anybody else. We do all the nonsense that everybody else does. You understand? And we keep saying, oh, Jamaica, God bless country. Yes, we are. I strongly believe we are. Because God gave us his gospel. God gave us his church. Although some of what we call church don't really qualify as church in God's eye. And yet we behave so lawless and indisciplined. So why wouldn't God, you understand? Yeah, God is a God of mercy, but he's also a God of justice. So nobody could foresee that it was going to be this bad. But even if it wasn't this bad, where we're prepared for the repercussions, I don't think the response, the disaster response and the recovery matches up to the preparations. So it's like ODPM, I'd give you 98 out of 100 for the disaster preparedness. But I don't know if it's ODPM that's responsible for the reaction, the recovery. You understand? Whoever is responsible, I'll give you a failing mark. And this is now 2 weeks after. It's still too quick for a country with our limited resources, our limited, the terrain and all of that. We have so many rivers and valleys and bridges that connect this little place to that little place. We don't have no building code as far as I'm concerned, because some of the places where people build, nobody shouldn't build there. Some of the places that got washed away, unfortunately, we're talking about a reset, and people's talking about PM saying he's going to build a new city in St. Elizabeth. You understand? Which he did say. I have that video from the news on my platform. You understand? But what I'm saying is, some of the way we were building and some of the places we live, we were in some of the places them, like our Kingston, and I don't care who won't vex because my background. Kingston just won't buck down and make over. Oh my Lord. There's so little you can do to upgrade Kingston to a decently laid out city because of what the building. There was hardly any building code in the origin. People who live against McGregor Gully and Constant Spring Gully and all these places don't belong there. But because we're so lawless and indisciplined, we just feel we can do what we want, and government a fight against we, and rich man a fight we don't. Now it's Chinese. It used to be the rich man and the white man and the whoever and the Middle Eastern rich people in Jamaica, the Matalans and the Hanas and the Pantons and whoever. Now it's China fight we out and government sell we out and whatever. Because it's as if some of us don't want any better. We don't want to live decent in a decent setting. When people think of Jamaica, We like way up there, we're world class. We need to set our standards higher to reach the standard that people set for us. Not because people set it for us, but because God has blessed us with so much, we can do so much more. You understand? So that is what I'm saying here now, my people. The recovery, if we're not careful, if we don't act fast, this is gonna be terrible. Mosquitoes are setting in already. Water is rising in some areas. The water hasn't gone down. It's stagnant. The carcasses of dead animals. You see, they're saying we didn't even have enough vultures. They were thinking of importing drunkos from other areas. And the people were saying that the PM is wicked or the government wicked to say that. Carcass is different from human remains, people. Carcass mean dead body, the body of dead animals. He's not talking about, come on, even if you don't like him. And I'm not taking up for him either because people keep saying, oh, as if he's God, as if people can talk against him. He's just a man. Yes, he's the ruler of the nation, but he's just a man. But at the same time, we mustn't say he means what he didn't say. You understand? So with dead animals, 2 weeks back, if they're in the water, that make it worse. When the sun shine at them, that make it worse. The flies and the animals, the insects, that are going to be taking up these carcasses. Plus it gone back into the water table. Plus it gone back into the river where, if you're like from where I am, by now you'd be digging sand hole with the dead cow and the dead dog and the dead puss and the dead fowl and the dead this and the dead goat and the dead everything. You understand? So the water is going to be polluted. Already people are reported as having FASI. If you don't come from country, you might not know what FASI means. It means sore all over your skin. Picnic with FASI. Plus TVJ News reported about the mosquitoes. Mosquito started, understand? Because by 2 weeks, or by now, mosquitoes supposed to breed up, yes. So all of that. So can you think of, cholera was in Westmoreland before. I'm not wishing cholera in Westmoreland again, but who knows? Malaria from if we have Aedes aegypti, as I pronounce, mosquito. You understand? And all of that. So the different diseases that we can think of. The homelessness, it pains my heart to see people living under just under the elements like that. What happened if rain start, although it's raining in some areas already, you understand? How long is it going to take to rebuild? Like Westmoreland, I saw a lady with a video, very informative about lease land. I don't know if that's true, that saying that is why, like Westmoreland, Appleton Estate, and some of these places are built like that because the land is leased. So they weren't allowed to put down permanent structure. As I say, I saw a lady saying, I tried to check it out, but I didn't get to enough time to check out whether that was fact. Although temporarily people have to be housed, but we can't allow people to go back and build in some of these areas like that. It might take the next 37 years because we see that there's a cycle, there's a pattern of 37 years before a next major disaster, but that's in my lifetime, that's in your lifetime. So we can't afford them to go back and build like that. So we're gonna have to, so it's not feasible. The country we can't afford to implement the sort of building codes and the sort of, land development that we need to relocate these people. And I am saying to myself, why not get land from whether in those same parishes or some parishes with a lot of empty land and do a sort of tent city, like what you see in the Middle East or some of these Euro-Asia, so Asia Minor, down there so, below the Mediterranean, down there so, when they have disasters. I think of like Bernard Lodge. I'm thinking of like Inzood. I don't know where in the other areas, maybe even like over Appleton Estate side, where you have acres upon acres of land, over 100 acres of land, where you could do. Some people were saying the arena and the stadium, and I am thinking. And my mind tend to think wild, So forgive me if I offend you. I'm not trying to offend anybody. But if you can't like all the chopper them from Westmoreland now, if you come host them in a stadium for the next 2 months or two, Oh my God, for them gonna kid with Kings, you know, it's a town bad man a cool down. And Spanish town bad man did a cool down. And I wish part the bad man them did they. So I'm not bashing Westmoreland because we have some wonderful people. But at the same time, the chopper them and the heartless criminal them were, although those were all up the relief supplies and I robbed the people them at one point might not necessarily be from Westmoreland or from down west. But I'm just saying, I don't think it's a good idea to say the stadium or the arena. At the same time, there might be events coming up. I know, like in the summer, we use it for one of the reggae shows and whatever. You understand? Plus, we don't know how long they're gonna be there. There were reports of what's going on in on social media in one of the schools, one of the shelters. Although the JCF came out and discredited it and said, people stop spreading rumor. We have no reports of such activities. You understand? But at the same time, I'm thinking in my district, if we in a shelter down a school, let's say 30 other we are so in a school, and some bad man, some gunman come in and decide, say, you know, they might go fast with some girl or some woman in there. You understand? Maybe we even know some of them because them could have come from my area. Or thank God our area is a safe area. Me, I will go up a station, go report it. Me would have brave enough. That's the thing. So because the JCF has no report doesn't mean it never happened. Come on, we have to be logical. You understand? So I am thinking, and my suggestion would be some sort of tent city where we get, even like the Marines. I don't know how long Marines stay on the ground in a foreign country, but where we could have it properly manned. Beg Mr. T for some of the Marine, but some of the Marines, you know, they have medics in there and so, and set up a sort of tent city till we can sort out the homelessness and the how to rebuild. Because going forward, we're not going to use no zinc again. You know, practical for Jamaicans use zinc sheet. Honestly, everything have to go big slab top or cast decking as we call it now. So added to that, I heard one of the ministers said that we have 2 months of food supply in Jamaica. In the US, in COVID, they had said it was 2 weeks, I think, no more than 2 weeks. So, you know, a country don't really stock that much food unless we know like a famine is coming like it within Egypt. So that is what I'm saying. Food scarcity in a short while. When the barrels stop coming in, and the container loads stop coming in. And by the way, customs don't need to do better. I see so many people with videos out of airport from Norman Manley. We don't need to stop going at the people. Them imagine people have them people hungry and make the sacrifice for buy airline tickets and maybe pack 2 suitcases and pay for extra luggage. And then I go in and go tea for the people them somewhere hungry people that who their town where get blown down and displaced and something. And I'm not even gonna talk about, me not call nobody name, but the one with the entertainer with the plane load, the ship loader, the cargo loader, something where him bring down. Because now they're saying that he was lying, and the minister say he investigated it himself and not no go so, and him could have him knowing him have him contacts, him could have just come to him instead of go public or say that. Me don't know if that guy would have really come say something like that, cause say how much them thief out time him shipment, him shipload or something. Him shipment, because I must say plane load him bring down. So I'm just saying, we need at a time like that. Why we wicked, you know, we wicked old time people used to say evilous. People are bringing in relief supplies, and custom officer would have go in, they go take them out. Jeez, peace. And you can tell what's the God now go have just that go take out him in wrath pan we. Anyway, so we have to look at the food security. It's gonna be an issue. If we don't act fast, it's gonna be an issue. Who knows? God forbid. All right, we have already looked at the illnesses, sores and diseases and that sort of thing. The mental illness, man, people are losing it. Think of going through that sort of thing. Think of losing your house, your cattle, your business, your vehicle. One guy, I saw one truck guy like the same week or that weekend in a video, and he said with his truck, I think he was doing sand mining, and all the trucks were by the riverbed. I don't know which area. And he looked at it as his equipment and stuff, and he says over 20 million worth over 20 million worth of business that me lose in Ohio. But thank God me have life. And you think of it, and I'm like, to just lose 20 million, that's your livelihood. Where do you pick up the pieces? You understand? Plus the little kids. Some of these kids are just coming out of COVID where life was so abnormal. And coming into this is like some of the little kids, when you watch the videos, it's so painful. It's like them turn full. So if we talked about the mental impact, oh my God, I don't even want to think about it. You understand? Then we think of the hospital, the reduction in hospital care, because almost every hospital on that end of the island was hit in one way or the other. I remember, I don't know if it's if they were Marines or what their name. They set up a thing their hospital. But the flying one them name. Sometimes I forget, But from the US military. The reduction in hospital care, when you saw like Savlamar Hospital, Conroe Regional with the water, I have that little clip on my channel as well, with the water, just equipment, furniture, devices, this, that. And we didn't have much. We never have much equipment in the hospital. I know for a fact, because I watched my sister die, and proper equipment could have helped, and that was private hospital, so moreover public hospital, and that was just this February. So with the loss of all this equipment, with the loss of buildings, the facility itself, I hear one nurse say, "Oh, this is whatever one. I have no job tomorrow." And the next one said, "But the hospital gone, everything gone, my job gone." Think of the impact on the nurses too, and the doctors and the frontline workers. But a reduction in hospital care on that side, when already Spanish Town, KPH, UE, all the others are already so strained. So if say cholera, malaria, whatever, God forbid, bursts out, how are we going to deal with it in that end of the island? You understand? We have to think of things like that. If we don't act fast and start, stopgap measures alone won't help my people. Then not just hospital scarcity, but classroom. People are going back to school already, and the PM was saying they should go back to school by when? By next week. That's half of the island. When one little girl, when the man said, "When are you going back to school?" She said, "January." That half of the island not gonna be able to go back to school for now. We still have 88 shelters that are still open, right? In 9 parishes across the country, and most of the shelters are schools. So are we gonna chase the people out of the school when they not have no home, them not have no family to go catch with, we don't have no tent city, we don't have nowhere to put them, we haven't designated anywhere to put them, or we can find or afford places to put them permanently or until they can get back on their feet? So are we gonna just chase them out of the schools, the schoolroom, and open back the school? Petersfield High School has over 150 people. When you see it, you think is a apartment building. It's like one family to a classroom sort of thing. Over 150 people are still sheltering there with 6 newborns, and they're running out of food. I don't know by now, this was up to Tuesday, this is Thursday. So what I'm saying is, when will school reopen? Are we just going to go ahead with half of the island? One man last night I was watching, he said his little son suffered a big setback in school in COVID. I know this make it worse. So you know what him do? Him set up a little school in what used to be him yard. He had 8 students, and he was saying, think of me when he started. He said, think of me as the sort of like the principal, but it's my sister going to do the teaching. That was the first he was starting. So people are helping each other. People see the need and they're helping. Are we going to move ahead with school for the next half of the island and leave that half behind? Yes, we might have to extend the school year, but are we going to do it? Are we going to hold back this half for the other half to catch up? So all these little logistics minister of education going to have to work out. You understand? Some communities might very well just be abandoned after this too. That is one of the things that is going to come up to. We might just very well have to abandon some communities because as we said, no building code and whatever. We just can't go rebuild this way. Think of the ecosystem. Think of the imbalance. When you look at trees, we need the trees for wind. We need the trees for pollination. What's going to happen to the bees supply in that half of the island? No trees, no flowers to pollinate, no crops to pollinate. So very soon we're going to have a shortage of flora and fauna, plus a shortage of think of all the crops that were lost, all the the livestock that was lost. When we're going to get with time, when you go on a St. Elizabeth Treasure Beach side, is thyme and skeleton is lawn grass. That's how they just plant the thyme and skeleton in their front yard like lawn grass. Think of crops that need pollination. Where are we going to get the bees from? The ecosystem is out of balance, you understand, to pollinate. So very soon you're going to have some like a crossbreed, something potato will look like cassava and yam will look like banana. You know, I'm just exaggerating, but think, my people. I'm a very logical thinker, right? What about fossil fuel? With the loss of trees, and so yes, so we're going to burn. We have wood like hell if we burn coal for a while. But when are these coalwood trees gonna grow back? It's not every tree can burn coal. The ones we can burn, them call it roomy. You understand? It's not every tree can burn coal. Where are we gonna get the coal from? There were so many coal farmers sellers who used to go to grass yard. And that's their livelihood. They make households of it. They school their children out of it. They buy vehicle out of it. And that's think about that. And you know, the loss of jobs, the loss of business. People are, you know, there's so much to think of. If we don't act fast, Jamaica, it's only gonna get worse. Let me just change this over. Okay, so there are some people up here. And let me just say hello to those on Facebook. John is watching. Thank you for coming in, John. Good afternoon from the Hawaiian Island. John Taylor. Thanks from Hawaii. Welcome. Aloha. Althea is watching. Thank you so much. Evive Thomas, thank you so much. Blessings to you all. So I hope you have gotten something from what I was saying here. All right. So at this time now, guys, I'm just saying, I'm not a preacher of doom and gloom. I'm just a very logical person. And things don't happen because we say it will. All right? Because we're not gods. We say things will happen because it will happen. In other words, it's because things will happen. That's why we say it. It's not the other way around. All right? So I'm not a preacher of gloom and doom, but everybody can look logically throughout history, in biblical history as well. When there was a disaster, if people don't act fast enough, things get worse. For instance, in Egypt, Egypt was the greatest nation on earth, the world superpower at the time. And after the 10 plagues, it just ravaged the Egyptian economy. Egypt was able to feed all the nations. That's how Israel ended up in Egypt, because there was a famine. There was a global famine. But because God had set up Joseph for 7 years, God gave Joseph the wisdom to show the Pharaoh how to store enough food for 7 years, and people were coming in from Goshen, from all over, to get food. It got to the point that Pharaoh thinks, "Say, my God, who is this God that I should listen to him?" He made the work harder for Israel, for the people. And they were building those pyramids. That's how those pyramids were built. They now had to find the material to make the straw, to make the building, the pyramids. So it made it harder for them. They couldn't get to go and worship. God said, "Let my people go." He sent him to him so many times, and he wasn't willing to. So God had to step in and do something. So after those 10 plagues, Egypt was so ravaged. Egypt fell. Egypt was no longer a world superpower. All right. So things got worse, as if the 10 plagues wasn't bad enough, wasn't disastrous enough. Things got worse. We see that with like Nebuchadnezzar too in Babylon. You understand? After he thought that, oh, I must be worshipped. And believe me, the time is going to come around again when the world superpower is going to set up that same system, a beast system, and say, I must receive all the worship. And God is going to have to step in and do something. All right. After God stepped in and did something, what happened to Nebuchadnezzar? Nebuchadnezzar was cast out. He became like a beast, eating dust from the ground on his belly, so to speak. So when there's a disaster, if we don't do what we should do fast enough, things get worse. That's what I'm cautioning us about Jamaica. We have to do things the right way and do it fast enough. Yes, our resources are limited, but if we pull together, we can't have the prime minister over there. So Andrew do one thing and Golden do one thing, and them up in them feelings, and they can't work together. And if it wasn't for the entertainers, and it wasn't for the social media people, and it wasn't for the churches and the international organization, people would be dying by now. So that's what I'm saying. All right. So let me go back into the chat for a bit here. I missed the chat. Okay, guys. So as I said, I want to help out a few people, courtesy of Inga STV and my Stam fam. I have some credit to drop. If you have people in these areas of Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth, Trelawney, Hanover, Manchester, even parts of Upper Clarendon and interior St. Anne, if you have people in these areas and you just want to top up, Simple Things Outreach Media family, Stam fam, we're offering some top up tonight. So if you drop those numbers in the chat, I'll be able to just add some credit that somebody can have a few more hours on their phone and might be able to reach out to their loved ones. Some of these people maybe have their kids abroad, or some of these people are young people and their parents are abroad and that sort of thing, and would love to reach out if they do have service. Let me put this over here. I don't know how clear I am on Facebook because I had to turn my phone around. My front facing camera is awful. Okay, so I'll just catch up with the chat and then we'll see. We're giving a giveaway. We're doing the credit giveaway now. And also, guys, join my fundraiser, please. If you want to help in any way, even $10, even less than $10. My PayPal, I give you my PayPal link, or it's in the chat, or my phone number. You can Zelle me. I'm going to drop my phone number in the chat, and you can Zelle. One of my moderators will drop it right here. You can reach out to me on Zelle if you want to make a contribution. As I said, I'm collaborating with Global United Outreach, and I want to do at least 1 or 2 barrels of tents. As we say, tents are not going to be a good idea. So 1 or 2 barrels of tarpaulins for what she's going into, like 4 areas of Westmoreland and 1 community in Clarendon and 1 in St. Elizabeth. So let me just put my phone here. Let me write it in such a way that that YT won't the thing there. So I'm going to use a slash instead of a dash. Or you can email me. That's the number. Is it correct? Well, you can send it. Sharon, if you're there, check this number. Can you put my number in the chat, Sharon, please? But make it a slash instead of a dash, okay? And let me catch up with the... And that's if you want to Zelle a contribution, you can put it there. Or you can click on the description below this video. Just click on below the video. If you click on the title, if you're on a laptop, or if you click on the word more and you see the drop down, the description is there. My PayPal link is there. If you want to make a contribution, even $10, that's what I'm asking for. Just so you could help us. We have some of it already. And I'd love to make up like 500 Canadian dollars to collaborate with Global United Outreach. They're doing the food supplies and the personal items, the toiletries, and we'd like to, Storm Farm would like to supply some tents. So let me go ahead and read the chat while Sharon, can you put my phone number for Zelle? So at this point now, either if you have, even if you're in the Philippines and you're watching, Flo or Digicel in Jamaica, if you have someone who you'd like us to top up their phones, you can put their phone number in the chat right now, and I'll go ahead and add some credit. Okay. All right, so I'm going to catch up with the chat while we do that. And Sharon is going to put my phone number. That's the number. You could write it down. You can Zelle if you want to make sure it's accurate. You know, Sharon, the money go to the wrong person. All right. So if you want to Zelle your contribution, even $10, even $10. If everyone on the live right now give $10, we can reach the target in no time. Just so a post that we'll say, oh, I read that. And people stuck in shops with the care packages. And it's going to be like that for a while. It's going to be like, because the shopkeepers, the small shopkeepers, think of our community. If you're from a small community like mine, the small shopkeepers have no, they have no stock. They can't go to wholesale in Black River or wherever right now. Maybe even Santa Cruz, some of the wholesales they're flooded out. People are walking through water in their community in those areas still. Yeah, that's crazy, Sharon. Sasha says they are going to make it bad for the persons who really need help. Yes, and the PM had to be coming out about the price gouging as well, because they're doubling up prices, and it's only gonna get worse before it gets better. That's why I say if we don't act now, Jamaica, it's Melissa won't be as bad as what is coming. Think, people, let's just think. God forbid that it will happen, but it's possible. Yeah, MP just posted that she noticed a lady over and over, and she asked the lady, and the lady said that they hustling, miss. Me have to make a money off it, how the thing go. And that's the thing, I do have sympathy for this sort of thing. You have to make a hustling off of somebody else's breads. So you'd rather see a little old granny or a lady with 4 hungry belly kids go to bed hungry while you stock up the relief supplies. Oh my Lord. And you want to say God not gonna deal with you? And people must feel sorry for you because you have to make a breaks off of it. Jamaica people don't take hurricane warning serious. No, they don't. That's the thing to Sashi, because people were saying last year with burial, them come for we. I remember down Alligator Pond way, Treasure Beach side. They came with fire truck to evacuate, and they left. And when they came back, walkless dog gone with their belongings. And that's why they didn't leave this time to their own demise. So it's like everywhere them town Makajukyo. But when they heard how rough this one is, I thought they would evacuate at this time, Sashi. That's true, Sharon, but that's why I was saying this. Them have to go make a new designation, Category 6, because no one expected this to be that bad. Even the meteorologists would not have guessed what the impact of this one could have been. I bet the next time they will, because they see it's no joke. Exactly. The better they will. But it's going to be nothing much, and they're going to say, look, we leave and nothing no come. Just like with burial. Or was it Ivan or which one before? The drunk of them say, don't always never like us, but now they're begging us to come back. For real. The chopper them chase out down to the drunk. Up to the drunk of them say, let me with your bad man, me I take on myself. Nobody can call them dirty drunk again. No. The dirty drunk of them are the one them where all of that the relief supplies truck and rob the people who are giving back. Mr. Drunkers, they're officially Mr. Crow. Put some respect on it, of course. All right, but Mama Simple, the people don't want to leave their mesh possessions or their land and place of comfort. We have to accommodate them when they are where they are. That is true. No, but what I'm saying, in order to rebuild, you understand, there are places that need to be drained. You can't even drain them right now. Like in Comfort Hall. Comfort Hall? No. content, Mandeville. I was watching the man, I don't know which agencies from, water agency people, and he was saying it can't be drained. So like those people whose houses are under the water, and the water is rising and expanding and enveloping more homes. So and people were devastated, and like those at Petersfield High School, and so those are the ones I'm saying we need to develop, get lands in the east, in somewhere in the east, and have maybe alone a Vernon field, just thinking of some flat areas. Even over our way have places, but people are not really to accommodate either, because if things get bad and things get worse and they can live and they have to start, doing untoward things, where that may lead. But I'm just saying, relocate them meanwhile, and not just allow them to go back. There's no way we can just go back and build back, put on back one roof per house and continue the same way in some of these areas. And remember that in most of the Westmoreland areas that got blew down, really ravaged, it was the board houses. Mika, okay. My idea would be to tent them on their own property. No, but not to tent them on their own property, because remember that there are carcasses and that sort of thing, plus the waterlogged area. So it sort of need to be drained and cleansed in a way and cleared before they can go back. So that's why I'm saying that the tent city might work. Plus, we need to start farming. Yes. So tent those who need shelter where they live and bring seeds and plants to get. I don't agree in this case, because the land need to be cleared. It need to be drained. It need to be sort of cleansed and rebuild in a proper way. We can't go juke up one house this so and three house below it and one room on top of it, and that. No, all of that. We can't afford it. That's true. But we need to why you think as little breeze blow Haiti, it's so devastating. You ever looked on the way that Haiti, that the cities, our major towns are built in Haiti? Look at even the 2012 with that great Haitian earthquake and subsequent storms and so. It's mainly because of how the place is built, If Jamaica got a earthquake that size, it wouldn't devastate Jamaica as bad as it did Haiti. And Haiti got this hurricane. I'm not even talking about the earthquake now, but even this hurricane, Haiti didn't get it as bad as us. And look how it devastated Haiti. So we have to reconsider how we build. These kinds of temporary schools is needed to get the children some sense of normalcy. Yeah, it's hard for them. It's hard. All right. So this is my number, guys. If you can sell your let me put it here. That's the number to Zelle if you want to make a contribution to my 10-cent Tarps for Westmoreland collab with Global United Outreach. Check it now. Yes, it's correct. And no, as I said, we're offering top up. Nobody wants top up. I'm giving free credit giveaway. Free credit giveaway, guys. So if you have a number, if you have someone from any of these areas who you'd like to top up their phones, you can go ahead and drop their number in the chat. And my PayPal, if you want to, my PayPal link is in the description of this video. Let me just check it out meanwhile. So go ahead, guys. If you want to do, oh, 1 hour is gone now. No. If you'd like me to top up your phone, the PayPal link, if you're on, just click more under the video. If you're on laptop, if you are computer, if you're on your phone, click the title of the video and it will take you to the description of the video, and you'll see my PayPal link there if you want to contribute. Okay. Additionally, super chat in this, just click on the $ in the chat right here on YouTube. But the thing with the phone is so hot. The thing with this on YouTube is that YouTube takes 45%. So every cent counts right now. And if you are on my Facebook, you can also send stars. Okay, just click on the star in the comment section. Thank you so much for joining. For those of you watching on Facebook, thanks for your comments. All right, guys. So I guess no one wants a top up this evening. Everybody's phone is good. On Saturday night, guys, Sashi and all the other YouTubers, small YouTubers, I would love to raise some funds to help Juba, because I know Juba is going to need help. Even if he gets help to rebuild his little shop, what we'd like to do is like we did before back in COVID days when it was Sashi's idea and we came together and stocked up his shop. So I know he's going to need maybe just, a 200 US or so, nothing big, but just something to start over so he can be helping himself. So hopefully on Saturday night we can come together and do a live stream for him. All right, guys. So if you have anyone, now is the time for the free credit giveaway. Just drop the number in the chat and I'll go ahead and top up your phone, that person's phone for you if you have people in this area who are in need of help. Thanks for coming in, guys. I see you are there, but I don't see you commenting. So if you're new here, drop your comments in the comment section that I can acknowledge you. And remember to subscribe if you have not yet done so. If you are on Facebook, thank you for helping me to reach my 1K. Thank you for those viral videos. I can't believe I have a video with over 500,000 views. A reel with over 500,000 views, and the other one is gone over 200,000. And on IG, it went over 100,000. And believe me, I put that same thing on shorts, we call it on YouTube, and it only went to 2K. I say YouTube is something else. Ooh, it will soon be my bedtime. Yeah, I'm not staying any longer and much longer. I'm just gonna give persons a chance for the top up. Anyone who wants some top up, I've been doing some top up since week for people in my community. So I realized that why we're not hearing from some people, it's not just the network that's down, but at a time like this, anything helps. So since no one seemed to want a top up, But the number that I have on screen right there, guys, if you want to contribute to my collab, tents and tarps for Westmoreland, even $10, that's all I'm asking for. You can Zelle if you're in the US, Zelle to that number, 941-592-3714. Or if you can also send by PayPal. The link is in the description on the video. If you're on phone, just click more right next to just click on the title, of the video, and you'll see the description. The PayPal link is in blue. If you're on a laptop or other device, computer or any other device, just click the word more next to the title of the video. That will take you to this description. My PayPal link is there. So I'm just going to give a few more minutes, for maybe 2 more minutes. Anyone? Free credit giveaway. I see there are no takers. So that means all of your friends and family's phones are good. So just think on these things, guys. I hear them even saying on the news, in talking about the mosquitoes, they were also reporting that there are some strange insects. I'm like, where? Because, the hurricane might have blown things from across the Atlantic. It was coming from what? Southeast, coming from across the Atlantic, developing as it came into the Caribbean waters. Now they're reporting that there are some strange insects down west. Who knows what those insects might do to crops and animals going forward, or even to human beings? What sort of allergies or diseases or that sort of thing it might bring. But it's just terrible, guys. And I just want us to think. Don't let it be like that last video before the hurricane where I'd said, listen, Jamaica, the way things are going, the way we're all focusing on this one missing child, which we need to find him and we need the answers, justice for Jaden. Something is about to happen. And even now we're all focusing on this, even something greater is happening behind the scenes. And all of this is a catalyst, I can tell you. All of this, what's happening, It's gonna call for things to be done differently. It's gonna call for laws to go in place, for systems to be set up that are not gonna be pleasing for most of us or for all of us, and are gonna require compliance that goes against our own will. Right? That's as plain as I can say it right now. We have to think and apply knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to everything. And don't just say, oh, you're bashing, or we always putting down our own country or putting down the prime minister. We're not putting down, it's just logical. History has to repeat itself. Biblical history and secular history shows these things, all right? And all of these is just heading to that place. So, we just have to wake up. We have to repent and fly right, my Jamaican peeps, including myself, because I don't want to be left out of Zion's gate, all right? So, since no one wants free credit tonight, I'm going to go. Thank you for being here with me. To my Facebook friends, thank you for being here. I hope we learned something tonight. Let the dialogue continue. All right. And let us just be vigilant, be wary, be not just be caught up with the whole social media thing or whatever. Let us do what we can to help others. For those of you who are looking for an avenue, if you want to help but you don't know how to help directly, you can feel free to donate to my Tens for Tarps. As I said, the phone number is the one that's right here. I put on the screen, 592-941-592-3714. If in the US, you can Zelle. If not, my PayPal link is in the description. But let us do our part to help someone, and not just to help, because included in all the things I've discussed, people need moral support at a time like this. People need direction, because I can't just picture, how would I start over? It's going to be rough. So we all need each other. We also need prayers, but prayers alone can't help. So I hope that this live stream sort of wake us up to the dangers that lies ahead. Things will get better, but not on this side of the river, my people, right? So all these discussions and these live streams are supposed to help us. My aim is to help us to prepare for the times that lies ahead, when we'll all have to make our greatest decision of all: who we worship and how we worship. That's all it's going to boil down to in the end. So I thank you for joining me. Subscribe if you're new. God bless you all. Thanks so much for being here. I'm going to go out now. So thank you, Sharon, Sashi, Inga, everyone else who was here. I can't remember all the names. And for those of you who really didn't come in the chat, for those of you who on my Facebook platform, John Taylor from Hawaii and all the others on Facebook, thanks for coming in. God bless you all. Until next time. Remember, Saturday night, we're gonna, hopefully the small YouTubers will come in and share, and we're gonna do a live stream to help Juba to rebuild and to maybe to just restock his shop. So until next time, God bless you all. Thanks so much for joining me.
Simple things, Outreach Media. Simple things, Outreach Media. Simple things, simple things, simple things. Get your daily dose, fill your cup up to the brim until it overflows. Blessings of God and simple things. Morning worship when you rise. Enrich your lifestyle. Hear words of wisdom. Experience God's love. Only on Simple Things, Outreach Media. Simple Things, Outreach Media. Simple things, simple things, simple things. And remember to like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, and experience and simple things. Outreach Media.